Welcome to my channel, ketomealsandrecipes.com. Today is our 8-year channel anniversary and it's also my birthday. I would like to thank everyone for all of your years of support and the lovely comments you have left for me. Thank you. Today's recipe is my version of a carnivore keto no bake cheesecake mousse, and I hope you will enjoy it. Yes, we can have cheesecake even on carnivore. But before continuing, I would like to ask, if you like my recipes and my channel, please support me by watching all the way to the end, and also do check out the end cards I've selected for more tasty carnivore recipes. So that you can make a more informed decision, here's the macronutrient ratio for each delicious slice of my Carnivore No Bake Cheesecake. It's 4.8 to 1 with 5.9 grams of protein, 2.9 grams of total carbs and net carbs because there are no carbs in most carnivore recipes. Here on the counter, I have assembled all the ingredients I'll be using today. As I make the cheesecake, I will be adding a few ingredients that some people would not consider carnivore. But as I've said, I'm not on a pure lion type carnivore diet. I'm on a modified carnivore diet. So that you can make the best choices for your carnivore lifestyle, I will tell you which ingredients are not carnivore, and you have the option to add them or leave them out. That's up to you. So let's get started. To make this carnivore no bake cheesecake, you can use a springform pan. In fact, I think it's actually advisable. However, I don't have mine handy, so I'm going to use my square cake pan. And I also like the square cake pan because I can get 16 even squares. I like to do my prep steps first. So I'm going to prep by lining my square cake pan with parchment paper. Because I want everything to be very clean and crisp, I'm going to make sure that my parchment adheres to the walls and to the bottom of my pan. And I do that by lightly greasing the sides and the bottom, paying special attention to the corners. The next thing I do is I prepare the parchment by measuring it out so that it will fit in my pan and cutting the corners so that they will fit snugly in the pan. I also crease where the folds would happen, at which point you just place the parchment into the pan, patting it down and ensuring the sides and corners are placed really cleanly and without any lumps. Once your pan is nicely lined and everything is snug, set the parchment lined pan aside. The next prep step is to bloom the gelatin. I begin by pouring my water into a small dish and adding the powdered beef gelatin. When I want a really light mousse texture, I just use 1 tablespoon of gelatin. However, most of the time, I do use 2 or 3 tablespoons of gelatin because it makes it much easier to cut and serve. With this extra gelatin, it has a firmer texture. Once you've decided how much gelatin you want to use, stir until the powder has dissolved, and just set the bowl aside, allowing it about 10 minutes for the gelatin to bloom. The next step is to make the main part of the cheesecake. So, to a bowl or a stand mixer bowl, add the cubed room temperature cream cheese. Then toss in the fine ricotta, also at room temperature, the room temperature heavy whipping cream. Here I'm adding the first of my non-carnivore ingredients, pure vanilla. The next ingredient I'm adding is my powdered sweetener. Using the sweetener is not strictly carnivore. You can omit it. However, you should note that your cheesecake will be on the more savory side. The next ingredient I'm going to add is the freshly squeezed lemon juice. Again, not carnivore, and you can omit it, but I do like it because it really enhances the taste of this cheesecake. Next, I'm going to use the sour cream, or for a milder taste, you can substitute by using Greek yogurt. And lastly, I'm going to add my finely ground salt. After you've added all the ingredients to your mixing bowl, begin by whisking at low speed until everything is combined. Then increase the mixer speed to high. And last thing you have to do is melt the gelatin and let it get to room temperature, and then slowly drizzle it while you continue to blend. But as you're pouring, be careful to pour into the center of your cream cheese mixture, well away from the sides of the pan. That's because if the gelatin hits the sides of the pan, it will cool too quickly and form little bits of solid gelatin, like little granules or pearls, and that will ruin the texture and the ability of the cheesecake to solidify. Then continue whipping to a lump-free velvety consistency, but don't over-whip. I forgot to mention, you should stop and scrape the sides of the pan once or twice because you want all the ingredients, especially the cream cheese that tends to stick to the side of the pan, to be incorporated into this mixture. While you're whipping, I strongly suggest that you pay close attention and make sure that you're not over whipping your cream cheese mixture because it will curdle as the cream will form into a lumpy, cheesy, and clumpy texture. I've decided to make this a crustless cheesecake because it does not need a crust or base. All you have to do is pour the cheesecake mix directly into your parchment-lined 20 centimeter or 8-inch round springform pan or 20 by 20 centimeter or 8 by 8 inch square pan like I am. This almost completely carnivore cheesecake smells amazing, just like a regular cheesecake. The texture as I'm pouring it in is very light, smooth, and velvety. I know this is going to turn out perfectly. After you've transferred all the cheesecake mixture into your prepared pan, make sure you use a spatula or knife and bring the cheesecake mixture right to the corners and edges of the pan. And also take a moment to smooth and even the top of the cake. And that's all there is to making this delicious carnivore cheesecake. Then just place your uncovered pan into your refrigerator. This cheesecake has a lot of cheese and cream, so it might require a little bit longer to set. Usually overnight will do, but it might be a very good idea to leave it for a full 24 hours before you cut into the cake. This will give it enough time for even the softer mousse texture to set properly. If you use the springform pan, just release the sides and peel back the parchment and cut it into slices. However, if you use the non-springform pan like I did, use a small cutting board lined with cling wrap, place it on top of the cheesecake, and flip it over very quickly. Then lift up the pan and peel back the parchment. If you've noticed that the surface of the cheesecake is a little bit lumpy or rough, just take an opposite spatula or a long knife and drag it over the surface to smooth out. I cut my cake into 4 lengthwise sections in one direction and then rotate the cake by 90 degrees and cut 4 more perpendicular rows like this. Because of the high protein content, like most carnivore recipes, this cheesecake is very filling. And with the few added ingredients, it's really tasty. I'm really looking forward to finishing this video so I can enjoy a piece. If you like, you can add a dollop of whipped cream as a garnish, but in my opinion, you don't need to. This cheesecake is amazing just as it is. These clean white squares look so beautiful, so serve with pride and enjoy. For all of you who are still here, I would like to thank you for taking the time to watch my entire video. Please share this recipe or channel link with someone that you think might also enjoy my recipes. And as always, I love hearing from you, so leave me a comment. I hope you come back when I post my next video. Until then, have a very happy and healthy day. Cheers!